So recently, my husband asked me to describe myself. He just said, "Act like you're selling yourself," and I'm not really sure like what caused him to ask me this, but it actually gave me a great idea for a video. And so, I don't know about y'all, but I hate describing myself. Feeling like I sometimes I can feel like self-absorbed when people ask me to describe myself when they're like pick one adjective to describe you. I feel like that can be kind of a self-absorbed activity, and I don't want people to think that I am. And so I had a difficult time describing myself, and so he asked me, would you describe yourself as an optimistic or pessimistic person? And I told him that I definitely think that I used to be very, very pessimistic, but throughout, like over the past year or so, I think that I've become more optimistic. I still have a negative side to me, but I definitely have come a long way as far as that's concerned. And I think that just having anxiety makes you a negative person. And unfortunately, you're so negative because you're honestly just trying to find what could go wrong in a situation. And so you always are doubting someone's full intentions or how a situation is going to plan out. You always go to kind of like a worst case scenario kind of thing. And so if someone does something genuinely nice for you, you kind of in the back of your mind, you're always like, so what's in it for them? Like, what do they get out of this situation? Or they just had to do that. They like, or if someone compliments you, like they're just trying to be nice. They didn't really mean it, but that's just kind of like where you get it from. Or if someone's joking, you take it personal. And so it causes you to be very, very negative, which then causes you to kind of miss out on a lot in your life because you go to a worst case scenario thing. And so I know that for me, I have a lot of social anxiety. And so I don't really like to hang out with people that I don't know, or maybe one friend will invite me to hang out with their group of friends. I don't really like that because I'll go ahead and tell you beforehand. I'll be like, I'm not going because I'm going to be left out because I don't know them. They're not going to like me. They're not going to want to talk to me. That's already my mindset, unfortunately. I remember in high school, the church that I went to, we would go on to camp for a week during the summer, and I would always be so excited to go to this camp. I would go with a lot of my friends, and it was always such a wonderful week. But always the week before, I would get so anxious over this week, and I'm like, what if I don't have a good time? I'm stuck there. What if something goes wrong? What if I get hurt? Like, all these things start flooding in my head, and they're like, how can this trip go wrong? And I can tell you every single way that it's going to go wrong. And so that kind of puts a damper on like going and all. And I always ended up having a good time. But the next summer, the same exact thoughts came back. And so I was told by a couple of people several years ago that I'm like a very, very negative person. And I kind of denied it then. But I can 100% see how they feel like that now. And I think that because you're negative and you're thinking worst case scenario kind of instills this fear in you. And so you're scared to do things. And I know at least for me, I think that my anxiety and depression are kind of linked to an extent. In a way, I think that my anxiety has caused part of my depression. Because being that I'm scared of social settings, I wouldn't go out, with friends to a new place or with people that I don't know, which meant that I was oftentimes sitting alone at my house in my bedroom and so I was just thinking like, I would tell myself all those little lies that why didn't they care enough to be upset that I wasn't going, or wonder why I wasn't going. Even if I had made up some silly little excuse, I still wanted to feel like they cared that I was not going. And so I think that isolation is kind of partially what caused my depression, and that isolation was due to anxiety. And so it was all kind of like a domino effect for me. It may not be that way in every scenario, but it may be that way in your scenario. And so it may kind of hopefully make a lot more sense for you. And that's really my goal, is to make you feel like what's going through your head, it's actually normal. Talk to someone about it, because otherwise it's just going to get worse. When I finally spoke up about it, was when my life started getting better and I got help, and I wasn't scared to talk about it anymore. And so the people around me are very willing to help me with the situation. And so that's what you need. You need such a great support system, and I've been so lucky to have such a wonderful support system. And I've had people come out of the woodworks to support me, which has been absolutely amazing. It's definitely not something that I expected, but that's why it just means that much more to me. And so I just really want to thank you guys for all of your support. It really has meant the entire world to me. Kind of in terms of the whole like thinking the worst case scenario kind of thing, that is just kind of like a figment of your imagination. It hasn't happened yet. It may not even happen. So you're getting yourself worked up and stressed out for absolutely no reason at all. So for the time between your worrying to when it actually happens, you are causing yourself to freak out. In that time period, you're not enjoying your life. There's so much going right past you that you're totally missing. And so if you can't fix it, if you can't change what the outcome's going to be, or you have absolutely no idea what the outcome's going to be, don't stress over it. Like what's the point? If your stressing is not going to help the situation, then let it go, because it doesn't help the situation at all. And if the situation has to do with another person and you're stressed out and you're upset because of what somebody else did or anything like that, that other person doesn't know. That other person, it's not affecting them whatsoever. You're the only one being affected by that. And so don't miss out on your life by stressing. I know that is so much easier said than done, but I promise if you really, really work for it, you can get past that. And so thanks for watching, guys. I really hope that you enjoyed, and stay tuned for the next one.